So let's talk about what makes a good villain in a fantasy campaign. Examples help, so let's use something outside the genre so that we can clarify the principle. What about Nolan's Batman films? Most people agree that the Joker was a better villain than Bane. But why? Both have tragic backstories, both have iconic appearances, both of them want to show Gotham its true colors. So why does the Joker feel like a better villain? My first thought was that it has something to do with their respective thesis statements, what they set out to prove. The Joker wants to prove that everybody is a fraud. He wants the world to see that even their heroes will violate their own principles when push comes to shove. But the more I thought about it, Bane wants to prove something similar. He thinks that Batman is too old and fragile and can't contend with his own single-minded and focused vision. Both of these antagonists are seeking a reckoning in the world. They believe that they see the world as it really is, and they aim to prove that they are right. The more I think about it, it comes down to how they respond to the protagonists. Bane goes after Batman physically. The Joker takes a very different approach. The Joker tries to understand what Batman wants. He tries to understand the protagonist and respond to him in a way that will break his spirit. It's because his game is mental, not physical, that he's a better villain. I would argue that's the main reason he stands out. The Joker doesn't just create chaos, he ushers chaos into the parts of Batman's life that matter. His desire to leave heroics behind and move on. Bane would handle any threat to his plan the exact same way. The Joker wouldn't. If your antagonist is just focused on their vision, on their goal, then the identity of the protagonist is irrelevant. They are just a force that the antagonist needs to overcome. The best villains make the protagonist face themselves or their values. So why is this important in a fantasy role-playing game? Well, if you want a good villain, they need to be contingent and dynamic. They need to respond to the heroes. You can't know how your villain will act until they know who the heroes are. Your villain must remain partially unwritten. Whatever the villain's goal is, they should try to find a way to make the protagonist choose. The heroes either get to achieve their goals and let the villain meet their own ends, or they must make a sacrifice.